This is Klayton, aka Celldweller.
And Bret, who is Blue Stahli.
And welcome to part 2 of our Live Upon a Blackstar commentary. Speaking of really cool and muscle memory,
that's right.
I know you have a story about Louder Than Words. Especially
really
this part right here that you're about to step up and play.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking over this right now.
That's
but
Moscow.
If you go back and, just like Clay mentioned, you go back and you watch Live Upon a Blackstar, you watch that video, whether you have the DVD, Blu-ray, or you're just watching this video, it starts with just me playing this arpeggiated line.
Right there.
There I am right there, walking up to the front. There, that exact thing right there, where there's nothing else going on at first, just me playing this arpeggiated guitar line that was, out of all the things that I played in the show, that was the most difficult, because it was a mostly clean guitar channel. I couldn't hide behind distortion or anything like that. And it's right up front. So if I make a mistake, you're gonna hear all about it.
It's pretty much just the guitar, and like that's all that anybody's really hearing.
Yeah, it's just the, and then I walk up and there's a little spotlight, and places that we would play a lot knew that, like, oh, this is the point where he comes up here. So they would put a spotlight.
Guitar solo.
I would walk up like, oh, here's my moment. And the really awful thing, it didn't matter how many times we practiced that. Even in rehearsal, I would get nervous with that, because this is not a show, like, this thing constantly moves. We couldn't, like, stop and make a do-over or, turn it into something else, where, like, it goes and it goes and you have to keep up, and if you make a mistake, you gotta figure it out. So I can remember at least 2 to 3 times. And it was always places where we had played a bunch of times where they would have a spotlight that I'm walking up to, that I would be walking up and with this difficult guitar line think, I don't know how to play this song. I have no idea how this song goes.
Of course, I had no idea.
Yeah, like you're waiting to play your part. The audience is waiting, like, oh, here comes a guitar part. I can't wait to hear what this is gonna sound like. And what's going through my head in those seconds from my station up to the front of the stage is, I have no idea how to play this. I don't know how this song goes.
After playing it like every single night.
Yeah, every single night on tour, and every single night
the mind blanks out. And they don't have teleprompters for guitar notes and tablature.
No.
We need to get those. We need to get those.
Pull it up on my phone and go like, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, I got it. So I, luckily, every single time, muscle memory from just repetition would kick in, and suddenly I would remember it at the last second, or not even that I remembered it, it's just my hands would remember it. I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God you kept up on this, because I'm too stupid to retain this information properly.
Well, I remember musically, this was like when I was kind of going through this song, and I think I may have said this on my commentary for the chapter, I don't remember, because I talk so much I can't remember what I ever say, because I don't want to pay attention to what I say, because nobody else does either. But I probably said this, but this started this track was to me, it was like a new wave thing. It was like 80s new wave. I loved 80s new wave, and I wasn't talented enough at the time to make it. Well, I probably took less talent to make than maybe the music I did make, but my brain didn't understand how to be simple. My brain only understood how to be complicated, so I ended up making Louder Than Words with this massively complicated mix. So I always wanted this like 80s thing. When I first ever even came up with the vocal in the chorus, it was in this like 80s new wave, kind of like dance thing. That clearly didn't work out. So for the show, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this like 80s, get this big 80s snare. Of course, when all is said and done, I don't think anybody listens to that and goes, oh man, this reminds me of the 80s.
Right.
But in my mind, I feel like I kind of got, I used a big 80s snare, it's close enough. But it was cool just, again, being able to reimagine. It's like I got a second chance to fix all the mistakes I did, when I actually made the song. I got the chance to make more mistakes for the live show, and then present them to you. Like, here are all my mistakes, and lots of different versions of these mistakes. You can pick any mistake you like, or you can pick all of the mistakes, or you can pick none of the mistakes.
Well, and that's
your choice.
That's the cool thing about the way that this show was put together, because a lot of these songs are radically different than their album counterparts. So whether you're watching the video or you're pulling up the album, you can pull up the live album on Spotify, or your listening medium of your choice. We're Spotify fans, so that's what we gravitate towards. But it's like you're hearing an entirely different band. It's a totally different record. It's totally different songs, even though it's the same core.
So it's a hell of a lot of fun.
And this was always I think one of my favorite parts in this song. Are you doing it now? Oh, no, you're not. We probably talked over it. Well, hip thrusts just happen anyway. And that'll happen in this video too. That wasn't the one that was trying to run myself. Don't turn that into a GIF.
I just keep trying to over-exaggerate so it looks like I'm running in place. And I sound like I'm running in place.
That'll be a GIF. So, my favorite part of this song is getting people to clap along. I don't know if I'm out of frame on that. I'll bring it down. But we would clap over our heads and getting the entire crowd to do that along with you, and having that be, having rock and roll be the universal language in no matter what state, no matter what country, was a cool thing. Just a unified, like, it doesn't matter what your background is or what kind of person you are. We're all here to have a good time.
I remember playing Dragon Con, which is this big con, I think 40,000 people or something like that in Atlanta, and most of these people probably never even heard of Celldweller. They had no idea. And I remember doing that exact thing and just like kind of getting people to clap. And because people are there to have a good time, they don't care as long as the music doesn't totally suck. They're gonna go with it. And everybody with their lightsabers, and we had some cool Jedi fighting going on.
Lightsabers was my favorite part
great.
Of playing Dragon Con, was seeing
time.
video later of us on stage and then panning out to the crowd and seeing people wave around lightsabers and everything was one of my favorite things.
It was like futuristic rave.
It was.
And we were the score.
And especially with like everyone in cosplay and everything. Like, well, Doctor Who likes this stuff, so everyone else should. Why not?
Hey, one. So this was another aspect to the live show that I've always involved in my live shows for as long as I've been playing them, and that is drums and multiple people playing drums at the same time. I was a drummer, so from the first live show I've ever done, the drums were set up sideways, and there was another drum set built off of it, and I would play with the drummer head to head on certain pieces, and we would not seated. I would stand and have toms and snares, but we'd do all these performance pieces in projects that I won't mention, and neither will you, or I'll kill you. And you don't dig around the internet because you don't want to know. So these kinds of things. So when it came time to do this, using space samples of actual space flights and John F. Kennedy, and this was actually from an older version of a Celldweller show, and it got completely modified, but it was really fun to be like, hey, put down the guitar, don't play the keyboard, don't try to sing, let's go back here and just smash on some skins, and so it was really fun to try to build a track underneath that we were going to be playing drums over the top, and generally, this coupled with the visuals, which you can't see in this video, but again, if you watch the Live Upon the Blackstar backing videos, which are on the Blu-ray or the DVD or iTunes, I don't know where they are, you can see the video edited in time to what we're playing. Every single hit, everything we're doing, in time to the music.
Really that was one of the most fun parts of the show. It was certainly one of the best workouts because, we're not just back there, we're not back there being boring drummers either. We're trying to jump around and like we're having a good time as well. Like every bit of us jumping around and having a good time. I mean, that's genuine. It's hard not. I mean, with this type of music, you can't not do that. Doesn't matter how tired we were. As soon as we got on stage, it's
showtime.
Yeah,
great.
you got your second and third wind at the exact same time.
Well, and I forgot that looking at the screen right now, we used that same drum set from the Symbiont thing.
That's right.
Because there were multiple parts musically on the drums, and I'm physically drifting, and so there were moments where you're looking and you're basically seeing 4 drummers play at the same time because you're hearing the audio the guys on the screen are playing and you're seeing us play it at the same time. So it was just creatively, that was just like, I felt like that was a lot of fun.
Straining, watching, waiting.
Oh snap.
Oh man.
Fade away. This was kind of the video shoot that was like, well, I have one of these left over from something, and I got this thing a couple of years ago. I never knew what to do with it, and we found that in the trash. Let's put this together and create a visual.
Which of course was in the in the same area where we had been rehearsing and doing many other things. So everything had to be moved out of the way.
And then we're looking at the keyboard stands going, maybe we should convert these keyboard stands into a set piece. So those cell blocks you're seeing in the left corner there are the actual keyboard stands that we are playing on stage. Right now you can see Bret in front of one of them. So we recycle and modify. It's a beautiful thing. And then the other scene, that scene right there with the kind of red blocks behind me, is actually in my studio.
That's right.
So we used that as the background and had a custom kind of collar made, and I had this thing that I had made years before and never really wore, so just kind of makeshifted it and put it together and shot some footage, and that's what it became.
Well, the fun part about doing that shoot was all of the other videos of you know, singing parts that were represented in the track, or you being on camera for projection purposes. All of those they'd been done pretty straight. It's like it's you as you look. Well, and with that, well, this has like such a space theme. Why not have you as this sort of creature
Alien
space
spaceman.
thing?
Right.
You know, look like something out of On the Silver Globe or something in a Fever Ray video, something like that. And I can remember one of my favorite parts of that shoot, because here's this, like, doing this, what we think is this really cool, super artistic thing, but we're goofballs, as you can see, as you've not learned this while watching these. You couldn't, like, there was a danger, like, if you ate by yourself, there was a danger of you messing up
The makeup.
Messing up the makeup.
I remember Chuck distinctly yelling loudly, like, "Do not touch that. Do not put anything on your lips.
So
You'll mess the makeup." Right.
Somewhere there's video of me feeding Clay like a bird. What it was, like Fritos? There's a little bag of Fritos.
No, it was like,
or
it might have been
something.
goldfish, or like they were little mini peanut butter things.
That's
or
right.
Little,
Yeah, it was a little mini peanut butter things.
Ritz peanut butter things.
Yep.
And I couldn't eat, so I was doing the little bird face, which I will not do on camera because I will never, ever, ever live that down.
Can we find that footage?
I hope not.
Can we cut that in?
I hope not. But yeah, so more embarrassing moments, but that was behind the camera, and hopefully we'll never see the light of day. But musically speaking, this was another one where it was a complete reimagining. I think this was like scraps of 2 or 3 different things that we had in the works, because I remember this changed tempo 2 or 3 different times. I know we ended on breaks. We wanted to do some big breaks thing and actually play like some growly mean synths live, and so we were like, okay, let's tack this on in the end. In fact, I do remember that the break, the little ride break, we stole right out of Kill Me Every Time.
That's right. That's right. Those of you guys who like my song "Kill Me Every Time," well, you also like a little bit of the live version of "Fade Away" too.
Subliminally. But I thought it was a really cool way for us to showcase playing synths, kind of doing the synth thing at the same time. I love the vocal processing thing. Like, that was a really perfect opportunity to just showcase a broken down piece of music and really kind of fleshing out that live vocoded vocal, which anybody who knows my sound, I'm a huge fan of vocal effects and vocoders and things of the like. So
well, it's a perfect way to illustrate that, like, you're not coming to see like a 3-piece rock and roll band play blues tracks back to you. This is live electronic music.
And that's because we're only 2 guys, so we can't be a 3-piece blues, only a 2-piece blues band.
My B.B. King dreams have been dashed.
Are you gonna put your guitar in your belly too? And just
That's how I record all the stuff for my albums anyway. Just lean back.
lean back. That was Russia.
That's
Yekaterinburg.
and as Clay keeps mentioning places that he recognizes in this video, if you couldn't tell, a lot of the footage in this is stitched together from shows from all over America and shows in Russia and a show in Japan.
Yep.
So you're seeing the culmination of a lot of different places in this action.
And cool blurry focus pulls and stuff.
Yes. Yes, because we had some people on stage running around doing stuff, and some of it was just a locked off shot like that is.
That was shot in Detroit at the Crowfoot, right here in Detroit. So that was kind of a closed, planned set. We had 5 or 6 cameras. We had a red camera there and a bunch of people running around at all times. And we did warn them if you get close, tap us, because we could unexpectedly whip around and smack you in the face. And now that I did that, I'm facing you and I'm completely sideways, and I have no way to.
How about that?
I have no way to fix it. All right.
And
Up too far.
I think one of us, I honestly can't remember who, one of us smacked a cameraman in Chicago.
Oh, I did.
You did.
I smacked Brandon.
I thought I did that.
Maybe you did.
I thought I smacked Brandon with my
Your hand?
guitar head. Yeah. Don't shoot me from that angle.
You know that's my bad side.
No. No, it was one of those instances where they're like, I'm gonna get this really cool shot, and they got really close to me, and I didn't know it was there.
Small stage.
And I whipped around, and hey, that's where your head is. Oops. And this chair makes some funny noises.
What was great about this is we opened this shot with this girl, and I don't think anybody ever paid attention to us because they were looking at this girl. And like, I mean, the comments online, you know, the lowest common denominator was like, boobs.
Right.
Boobs.
Of course.
Like, really? Okay. I guess if that's the first thing that comes to mind, that's cool. The first thing that comes to my mind is sci-fi boobs.
That's right.
They're in space. These are not just normal standard
Yeah.
boobs. I
We
mean,
class it up
There's
a little
more
bit.
to these boobs than
There's constellations in the background.
right. God, this is like future stuff.
I mean, still, yeah, boobs. But
But space boobs.
space boobs. Space boobs. We can all agree are pretty good.
Yeah, we enjoy them. Yeah, this was another one where I knew I had two songs on the album that were around the same tempo, had two totally different feels, and it was like, okay, can we take these two and mash them and do
Right.
like a heavy drum and bass metal mix up
Right.
kind of live? And we did, and we're clapping like baboons over here. We're going like crazy.
Jumping around like howler
This
monkeys.
was the energy was really cool.
Absolutely.
This
And I
riff,
love that this has a section where everything drops out and we show you that, like, look, when we're playing guitar, we're not miming it. You're hearing us.
Right.
You're hearing us live. And there's several points in the show where things like that happen. The beat will drop out and it will be just the guitar, so you can see, oh, they're actually doing this.
I'm pushing through. I'm pushing through face. I'm pushing through face.
People at multiple shows who probably heard us miss notes on that riff and go like, all right,
That's live.
This is live because they're bad guitar players.
I remember the former version when it was more the metal band, and I used to play a version of So Sorry to Say where I'd play that piano like,
Yeah.
and oftentimes because it was dark in clubs, or the keys were all soaking wet, or I can't play instruments very well. One of those things. I don't know which one. It's one of them. Probably a combination of all three, but probably mostly the latter. And I would just flub those piano notes. So it's like this open spot where I'm playing this note over this beat, this little progression. And yeah, I would just, in front of everyone, just laugh and shake my head. Like, yes, I know, I screwed up. But I'm playing it live.
That's right. That's right.
I only screwed up to show you I was playing it live. That's how I justify it.
It's really for your benefit. Right. It's not because we're it's not because we flubbed it at all. We did that on purpose.
Right.
Absolutely. This was is this where it gets massive?
Yep.
Yes. This is just
the
before
breakdown.
it drops into, I think this was the next to our last show of the night. This was the biggest like the biggest element of energy here. This is when
yeah.
like the crowd would go, I'm gonna destroy everything.
Yep.
Oh wait, this may be just
no.
before that,
Yeah. I thought this was the end, but it's not.
because I'm still jumping around.
And I'm singing. I wouldn't be singing that part. In fact, the end is where you're riffing on a keyboard,
Yes.
and I'm doing the little like kind of acrobatics, jumps and backflips. They had to bring the trampoline out for that. And stuff.
And we have your guitar at that point running through. It's actually doing all sorts of crazy glitchy stuff.
Yep. Live. That was so cool to see that you could actually do live input to plugins that would glitch sound in real time with very low latency.
Right.
So it was like, okay, we can actually do this, and it works. So being able to play notes and hearing them come out the other end mangled was so cool. I think when we first did the first rehearsal like that, we're like, yes!
All of the, oh yeah.
The beauty is in this part. Yeah, here we go. With beauty is in this part. No one can even, it's so obnoxiously, everything's so big, you
It's
can't
a
even really
cacophony.
tell what we're doing, but
There it is.
you're just screaming on the riff. I mean, on the, and riffing on the keyboard.
There were a couple times, you only see a glimpse, like right there. There were many times during the show where I've almost put my head through those keys.
You come close.
I've come
I'm surprised you don't have like, oh look, there's a C sharp and a D sharp right there.
there's just a fifth across my forehead. Because I've come real close over the years of us doing that. But yeah, this was one of my favorite parts of the show, just because of the energy, and it's like everything had been pretty high energy anyway, and this just took it up another level anyway.
I think I used to get really excited during this part because I knew we were getting close to the end of the set. That used to get me pretty excited.
Right.
Thank you for getting all the way through part 2 of the Live Upon a Blackstar commentary. As always, subscribe to my channel, like or share this video, and you better subscribe to Bret's channel.
YouTube.com/Blue Stahli. Super simple.
And there's a lot of great stuff there. Join us as we head into part 3 of the Live Upon a Blackstar commentary.